I'm Julianne Neal, and I'm here with author Peter Lee, first time author with the EQUUS Film Festival. So, Peter, welcome to the fest.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
We're really glad to have you. And we're going to speak a little bit today about your book, Spectacular Bid, The Last Super Horse of the 20th Century. And so I'm really excited. I learned some things that I didn't know already. But can you tell us a little bit about this project, how you got started with it, what caused you to write the book?
Sure. Spectacular Bid was one of my favorite horses growing up. He won the 1979 Kentucky Derby. He won the 1979 Preakness Stakes and was well on his way to a Triple Crown. And the morning of the Belmont Stakes, the last race of the Triple Crown, he stepped on a safety pin and unfortunately finished third in the race. And it broke my heart at the time and has stayed with me through all these years. And finally, I just said, I got to find out what happened to that horse. And that's really the reason I wrote it.
Well, it's a phenomenal story, and I didn't know the whole backstory with the safety pin. So when I first read that, I was intrigued. How did they find it? How did they realize that was what had happened?
Well, the groom came in at 5 o'clock in the morning, the way he always did, and looked and saw that Spectacular Bid was limping on his, favoring his left hoof, his left front hoof. And when the trainer Bud Delp came in, the groom said, "Boss, this horse is lame." And Bud Delp went over and looked and saw the pin was stuck in about a half-inch into his hoof and pulled it out. And they thought everything was going to be fine. He was walking fine, but apparently it did more damage than they thought it did.
Right. Well, and then, like you said, he went on to have an incredible career. So, what has been the most rewarding part of this project for you?
Probably finding out what happened, since I was only oh goodness, 11 years old at the time.
Hmm.
I really, we didn't have internet back then, so you didn't really know what happened to the horse. And researching, I found that he came back from the injury, won 10 races in a row, and went undefeated as a 4-year-old and became Horse of the Year, and is now recognized as one of the greatest horses of all time.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. Well, and in your book, you have some pretty colorful characters, and I'm just curious. Have you had any feedback from them once you published? Have you heard from folks that were in the book that maybe didn't realize they were going to be in the book?
Not from anybody who didn't realize they were going to be in the book. I did a lot of research. Of course, 40 years later, some of the people had passed on, and I was fortunate enough to talk with the 19-year-old jockey Ronnie Franklin, who passed away shortly after I had interviewed him, and so didn't really, get feedback from everybody. But it was, from what I've heard from everybody, they everybody was treated fairly and enjoyed the book. So I'm happy
Oh,
about that.
sure. Yeah. Well, have you had any thoughts of writing any more? I mean, there are a lot of racehorses out there that we might want to know some backstories on.
Absolutely. Yeah, history is just so rich with tales of glory and champions that have gone unnoticed over the years. One particular era that I'm interested in is the 1950s, which you had a whole lot of all-stars that people really don't know about. It was probably one of the greatest years of horse racing there ever was, in 1957. A lot of colorful characters, and it was the horse race in which the great Billy Shoemaker stood up in the irons before he crossed the finish line and lost the Kentucky Derby because he didn't know where the finish line was. So it's going to be an interesting story to write about it, that's for sure.
Oh, well, I look forward to reading that one too. And I mean, with this year and everything else going on too, things are so different. And so racing is the same. It's been really different. What are your thoughts on how they've changed things around and scheduling and all?
I think they've done a great job. I mean, COVID is a very serious pandemic, and they've done a lot of social distancing, a lot of measures with masks, and I know horse racing fans are extremely frustrated, to get back in the on the track and to do some betting and root their horses on. But safety first, and soon we'll all get back there and enjoy it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll look forward to that, and we'll look forward to the next book from you, and hopefully next year's film festival will be together in person as well.
I
So if
hope
I
so.
wanted to find you and learn a little bit more about Spectacular Bid, the book, or you as an author, where would they find you online?
You can go to Peter M. as in Mark Lee Lee.com, and I've got books there, and also spectacularbidbook.com. You can find out a lot more about the horse, and I've got a blog there that talks about all of his different races and the things that he had done over his career. So those are probably the two places you can go.
Wonderful. We'll send folks there, and I'll look forward to reading some more as well. Thank you so much for speaking with us today, Peter.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.